Elvis appears on Ed Sullivan's show for the third and final time and was only shown from the waist up. New York City Mad Bomber George Minetsky is arrested in Waterbury, Connecticut, and charged with planning more than 30 bombs. And a 5.7 magnitude earthquake shook the Bay Area in California, causing over $1 million in losses, 1 death, 40 injuries. The year is 1957, and this was the expensive convertible option over at Cadillac, the El Dorado convertible. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that brings you cars not often talked about and dares you to drive something different. History, specs, design post between 4 and 5 episodes each week, with engine episodes generally Wednesdays or Thursdays, depending on the week. If that sounds of interest, a channel that you'll totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. So, I got a confession to make. I suck at planning, and I rarely make plans. I am the type of person that flies by the seat of my pants. But with that said, we are coming up on our 500th episode, which will be the episode after next. So we'll say this Tuesday, June 11th, is going to be our 500th episode shindig. The episode is going to be on my 52 Chevy 1-ton stake bed truck, but after that, there will be a Q&A session, ask me anything kind of thing, and I'll answer it within reason. I hope to see you there. It will be premiering at 8 Eastern Time. I hope to see you there. 1957 Cadillac model lineup. These aren't in any particular order. Series 62, Fleetwood Series 60 Special, Fleetwood Series 75, Cadillac El Dorado, and El Dorado Brougham was at the top. Cadillac offered the El Dorado from 1952 through 2002, and half of its production cycle, well, actually for just a little bit of time, it was front-wheel drive rear engine from 1952 through 1966 and was front-wheel drive from 1967 through 2002. They offered the El Dorado in 11 generations. 1957 falls in the third generation, which was produced from 1957 and 1958, designed by Harley Earl and his team. The 1957 Cadillac El Dorado could be had in 3 flavors: 2-door hardtop Seville, 2-door convertible Biarritz, and the super rare 4-door hardtop, with only 4 being made. Standard equipment included but not limited to 4-speed hydromatic automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, radio, power seat, pleated leather seats. The 57 Cadillac rode a tubular X-frame chassis on all models with the lack of side rails. It was said to have greater structural rigidity while allowing lower body lines without the loss of usable space. But it doesn't have the side rails for protection. You do not want to get broadsided or T-boned in this car. 1957 saw a bit of a redesign, so let's compare 56 on top, 57 on the bottom. Interesting, the front fascia looks very similar, but it's not the same. The grills are totally different, as well as Dagmar placement. Turn signals have been changed in size as well shape. Rectangular / trapezoid shaped on the 56 to a round shape on the 57 with added fog lights. Gold-plated grille on the 57. Both have single headlights with hoods, but they are done differently. The hood profiles have also changed. Bulbous nose on the hood from 56 with hood markers in the center and or ornament. The hood ornament and or markers were downsized and moved to the front fenders on the 57. Moving to the side profile, both have wraparound windshields, which are different, as well as vent window designs. Rectangular on 56 versus a trapezoid shaped on 57. The 56 has brake work that comes off the top of the front fenders and or wheel wells, and it goes across the door and up to the top, whereas the 57 doesn't have that. Both the 56 and 57 have body lines that continue off of the headlight, but they stop in different places. The 56 stops just before the door, and on the 57 it extends to about 2/3 the door, The rear wheel wells are different. Lots of bright work on the 57 rear quarter section. Fin profiles and rear ends are totally different. Moving aft. Two totally different rear end profiles. The 56 has a skeg or a side fin coming off of the fin. Brake lights and backup lights are right next to one another, whereas on the 57, the brake lights are right below the fin and the backup lights are down lower. Both of them have external, or I should say exhaust ports that come out of the bumper. Also notice the 57 doesn't really have bumpers, whereas the 56 definitely does have a bumper. Trunk deck lid profiles are also different. Jumping inside to take a closer look at the dash and interior situation, which both are different but have similar placements. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 222.1 inches long, 80 inches wide, 58.4 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 129.5 inches. It weighs 4,930 pounds, which a lot of people will think that that is a really hefty number. Brand new Cadillac Escalade weighs way more than that at 6,217 pounds. Price, $7,285, which is equivalent to you spending $81,288.16 in the year 2024. Total 1957 Cadillac production was 146,841 units. Of that number, El Dorado was 3,904 units. Total convertible El Dorado was 1,800 units. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer, 364.4, oftentimes referred to as 365 cubic inch displacement overhead valve V8, 6 liters. It's good for 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPM, 400 pound-feet or 572 newton meters at 3,200 RPM with a bore of 4 inches and a stroke of 3.625 inches. Compression is 10-1 with 5 main bearings. When backed with a 4-speed hydromatic automatic transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 10.6 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 122 miles per hour while achieving an average 8.8 to 10 miles to the gallon. This absolutely stunning showstopper car is currently for sale at John Kufleitner's Galleria of vintage, pristine, classic cars out in Salem, Ohio. For hours of operations, directions, and to see more stuff for sale in their inventory, be sure to click the link below after the show. Let's talk styling on this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous car. Look at the grille. It's plated in gold. Dagmars, which are rubber. Look at all of the stainless. Look at this hood. Once again, tons of stainless. There are fender markers. Also take a look at all of the texture in those fender markers. Beautiful Cadillac badge here in the center. This car does have a center line, ever so slight, which goes back to the single windshield, wraparound windshield with opposing windshield wipers. This one has the fender flare with this stainless capping it off. Also check out this line. This one has an external cowl with windshield wipers that are mounted on little pedestals. Side mirror is located right here on the driver's side door. This car does not have rocker molding, but just look at how it curves as it goes down. Because this car is a convertible, it does not have drip rails. Also notice the convertible top color. Very thick stainless steel trim around the rear fender. Also notice it flares out. Here's a better look at all of the different lines. The gas filler door is on the driver's side. That's where the gas goes. Just take a look at this fin profile. Rear brake lights. Exhaust. Backup lights. Deck lid is smooth. Beautiful El Dorado badge there in the center. Coming up and getting inside, this door has a substantial amount of heft to it. Just look at everything that is going on with this door panel design. Nice bright bit there. Armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. This one has a pretty substantial mat pocket down below. Window crank for the vent window. Door handle as well as side mirror. So that's very cool. Look at where the lights are placed so you can see getting inside. This one does have power seats. Coming down inside the pedal box down here, emergency brake release, high beam switch, brake pedal, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. Wow, what a nice shot. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood would look like. The windshield is slightly tinted as it goes up. Underneath the steering wheel, there is tons of space to put my hand in between my lap and the steering wheel. And the only reason I show that is you can move the seat back, but you can't move the steering wheel. The steering wheel is where it is. Also want to draw your attention to this bit here. This is a really nice steering wheel. I love how thin it is, and I love the ridges it has behind. Full horn ring. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. All four power window switches, windshield washer feature, as well as windshield wipers, headlights, left turn signal indicator, coolant temperature, oil light, speedometer with odometer and trip odometer. Drive modes read park, neutral, drive, low, reverse, defrost, ventilation, de-ice. That is a top slider. There is a bottom slider for warmer to the right. On the bottom right hand side, air conditioning controls, two sliders, AC, low, medium, high. Notice high is on the left instead of on the right. Temperature, cooler is on the left. Key, generator light, gasoline gauge, right turn signal indicator, speaker, tone, Panel light right above the radio, clock that spins. Up above, there are sun visors. Look at how they latch back here. Hook into this. And that's how big they are. Here's my hand for reference. They're on the slender side. There is a daytime, nighttime rear view mirror in the center, as well as another sun visor over there. Check this out. So that's for the air conditioning and or heat. I think that's so cool. Right here, this is called the Ultronic Eye. That's your automatic headlight dimmer. On to the glove box test. Here is our test subject. Here is my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. Notice there is not any cup holder indentations on this glove box. But the hole and the space is absolutely massive. You could fit 2 of those cameras in that space. And it will shut. So you have one lighter and ashtray right here. This is the glove box. There's another lighter and ashtray over here. This is the window switch for the passenger side. There is an armrest in the front, which operates like that. Just look at how nice these seats are. Also notice the carpeting at the back. This is how much room you would have to get into the rear. Nice armrest. A cigarette lighter here. And ashtray. Window switch. This is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse or the pillar to glass ratio. It's very bright in this car, but that's all of the nice bright bits. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. Rear speaker housing right there in the center. Notice there is not an armrest in the back. Something that's really cool is there's a light up here the back of this center piece. The seat back profile back here is rather upright. Does dip down quite a bit in the back, but it's not uncomfortable. And because these are concaved in, there is tons of space. Put my hands in between my knee and the back of the seat. The bars are painted, but the sides are bright. There is a secondary catch, and that's right there. So this one's got the original battery, original style battery. Dual horns. One is mounted right below the battery box. The other one is mounted over here. This one's got an oil cooler, it looks like, or a transmission cooler in the front. Power steering. 2 carburetors. Really hard to find air cleaner. Oil filter. Man, check out that gas filter. 2 belt system. There's the air conditioning compressor. On the positive side, it's a Cadillac from the late 50s. Quality, the bodywork, the interior materials, and the more you look at this car, the more you see. Performance, it's a milestone car. Styling, against it, there isn't much, but some parts, like the Batwing air cleaner, are impossible to find. Thirsty, big, and it has a pretty large footprint, all things considered. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather, two scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather wait until 1958 and have the Packard Hawk fully loaded, or 1957 Cadillac El Dorado, or 1957 Lincoln Premier? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. On to the second scenario. Would you rather have a 1956 Cadillac El Dorado, or a 1957 Cadillac El Dorado, or a 1958 Cadillac El Dorado? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. First person to give both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. If you'd like something more personable, send me an email at what_its_like@yahoo.com. Thanks again for everything. Till next time, toodaloo!